Good morning, everyone. This is Mike O'Malley here with the Hurricane Outlook and discussion recorded on June 27th, 2023, recorded on 11 a.m. Eastern Time. We have a lot to talk about today, including a potential tropical cyclone slash hurricane threat impending for portions of coastal Mexico on the eastern Pacific side over the next couple of days. So let's go ahead and jump straight into everything. So firstly here, taking a look at the tropical Atlantic today, it is relatively quiet across the basin. We are still monitoring the remnants of Tropical Storm Sydney over here to the south of Bermuda. And we'll be monitoring this system for the next several days as there is the potential for tropical cyclone formation from the storm once again as it moves off towards the north. But the model forecast today have generally been one that has trended away from development with that. So we're not going to be focusing too much on that in today's video. But we also have a tropical wave emerging off the coast of Africa today. And this is a wave that some models have predicted development as this nears the Lesser Antilles. So we'll be monitoring that. We also have a tropical wave that is moving through the Lesser Antilles right now, bringing some showers and some heavy rainfall, potential for some flooding and gusty winds as well. And in the eastern Pacific Basin, things are beginning to light up across the board as well. Here we have two tropical systems that could be forming over the next several days. The latest indication from the National Hurricane Center is that both of these systems here have a high probability of development, with this tropical wave here that is being highlighted as Invest Area 91E. This is actually now being forecast to develop into a tropical cyclone over the next several days with a 90% chance of development. The system is expected to continue moving westward and shouldn't really impact land, but a system behind this is going to be impacting close to Mexico over the next couple of days. So let's go ahead and look at this in greater detail. So taking a look here at the visible satellite imagery for both of our systems today, this is Invest Area 91E out here, well on its way now to becoming a tropical depression. You notice that there is fairly decent convective activity associated with this today, and the low-level cloud fields are beginning to indicate a circulation forming in this area. So this is likely to be classified as a tropical depression or storm here, likely within the next 24 hours or so. And then taking a look here at our other system, it's still relatively disorganized today. There's just a broad clump of shower and thunderstorm activity loosely associated with this wave envelope. And this is expected to continue to be the case throughout the next several days. And this right now is going to be dealing with a little bit of the adverse effects from Invest Area 91E. So imminent development of this wave, at least within the next 24 to 36 hours, is not particularly likely, although some of the forecast guidance today, especially from the GFS, has indicated a more robust development of this system here within about the next 60 hours or so. So let's go ahead and take a look at the model forecast. So looking here at the GFS forecast, in the color-filled area, we're taking a look here at the 10-meter wind, so the wind just above the surface. And in the contours here where my cursor is, this little contour here, this indicates the mean sea level pressure. So this is starting off as of today, and we notice that there's not really a tightly compacted tropical cyclone in the forecast guidance. And that's still likely because, again, both of our systems are taking their time to organize. But as we progress throughout the next several hours and into the early morning part of tomorrow, we notice a tropical cyclone that is rapidly developing here in the reliable models, and this is Invest Area 91E. And given the overall organization trends that we've seen today, I do think that this is possible that we could be dealing with a bona fide tropical cyclone here by tomorrow in the morning and afternoon hours. Most of the reliable guidance has this spinning up rather quickly. But it's not really this system that's going to be the biggest problem. The problem is going to be this little impulse of energy here in the forecast guidance, right where my cursor is kind of circling. This little impulse of energy is going to be riding fairly close to Mexico over the next couple of days. And you can see here, you get a hurricane to develop from Invest 91E. And I'll go ahead and zoom in just a little bit further, and you notice this is our system right behind it. And in the forecast model, this becomes a fairly potent hurricane in the guidance. And this is staying a little bit to the south here of the coastline here of coastal Mexico. And so both of these systems are going to be in fairly close proximity over the next couple of days. and this might play a fairly big role in where this particular system goes behind 91E, because again, we know that systems in close proximity often kind of pinwheel around each other. So there's going to be a lot of interesting dynamics at play with this particular system over the next several days, but it should eventually move to the north of this system based on the guidance today, and probably weaken as it approaches the Baja Peninsula. So both of these systems will kind of be in tandem at this point and begin to kind of rotate around each other, known as the Fujiwara effect. Fairly cool, fairly interesting dynamics and physics lessons, but we're not going to get into that today. Bottom line, though, is that there could be a tropical cyclone that either impacts portions of coastal Mexico over the next couple of days or the Baja Peninsula within about the next 5 to 6 days. And just for some added context here, this is the European forecast model. It's fairly similar, showing the exact same kind of thing with a tropical cyclone forming within the next about 3 days or so, and then moving fairly close to the Baja Peninsula. And this actually has it making landfall in the Baja Peninsula and weakening subsequently after that. So again, the upper level environment we can see here on the 200 millibar wind, it is going to be fairly sufficient for the storm to strengthen at least somewhat over the next couple of days. But again, cooler sea surface temperatures out here in this region should prevent significant strengthening of both of these systems. But certainly something to monitor if you live along coastal Mexico or the Baja Peninsula, and certainly something that we'll be keeping tabs on over the next several days. And out here watching the remnants of Tropical Storm Sydney in the Atlantic Basin, this system is not fairly well organized today. You actually notice that there is still a remnant spin here, but it's almost completely getting just obliterated at the moment. This outflow boundary that's highlighted by my cursor right here on the edge of these convective thunderstorms here, this indicates dry air in the vicinity, and these storms are outflow dominant, and so you've got winds moving away from this low-level circulation here, actually completely making the circulation collapse today. So there's unlikely to be significant organization during the next several days from this particular system, and there is fairly strong upper-level winds in this environment throughout the next several days. The National Hurricane Center is giving this system a 30% chance of tropical cyclone formation, though, within the next 5 days. We're looking for this storm to potentially move off towards the north and potentially impact places towards Halifax and Nova Scotia up here. But the chances of tropical cyclone formation have actually decreased a little bit today, and most of the reliable guidance does not generate such significant storm that was once forecasted just a few short days ago. So mostly speaking here, the models have dropped development from this system, and development, at least in the short term, is not imminently likely. However, one important thing to note about the remnants of Sydney here, we're looking at the reliable guidance here, the GFS precipitable water forecast. Again, the warmer colors here indicate more moisture in the atmosphere to be rained out of a theoretical column here. So this is kind of the remnants of Sydney right now. And over the next several days, you notice that there's going to be a fire hose of moisture that is going to be stretched into Nova Scotia. And so even if this doesn't become a tropical cyclone here, we're looking by tomorrow that we could be talking about a fire hose of moisture and stretching all the way then into Thursday as well. Just a fire hose of moisture that gets pumped in to Nova Scotia, even if you are not dealing with a tropical cyclone. And again, the GFS today has kind of taken a step back with regards to development over the next couple of days, and that is likely due to a more unfavorable trough interaction and cooler sea surface temperatures in this area. So there is still the chance for tropical cyclone formation, but again, NHC is going with a low chance, and I certainly don't think it's going to be anything of super significance over the next couple of days, but we'll certainly continue to monitor the forecasts with that. Elsewise, I hope you have a great rest of your afternoon and evening. God bless to everyone out there. Stay safe. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys again some more tomorrow.